Hey guys, I am going to be talking to you about the benefits of being on sports teams. Throughout high school, I was on many different sports teams. Being a four-sport athlete means that I got my range of different teams to be on throughout the years. I would say that I was on teams made up of mostly older classmen, and I was on teams made up of mostly younger classmen. But no matter what team I was on, I came out with two great skills and another added bonus. I came out with a ton of leadership skills taught to me mostly by the older classmen on the teams I was on, but I was also taught leadership skills by some of the younger classmen that were just natural leaders. And I learned many social interaction skills, how to communicate effectively with other people on the teams and such. And I took away great friendships that I would have never really expected if I hadn't been a part of sports teams. Probably wouldn't have really talked to these people if I just saw them in the hallway at school. So they made me come out of my shell a little and create some more friendships. So I would say that the leadership skills that I took a lot away from on the different teams were like going above and beyond what is asked by like a player or a coach. I would say, for example, like if a coach asked me to go help another player because I can teach them a little more and like get through to them like a little more than the coach maybe. I wouldn't just tell them the basics of the move or how to just do it half-assed pretty much. I would tell them the ways like why it's this technique, and I would show them different drills they could do to help them go through it by themselves at home or with a parent or with a sibling or just like during practice. I would maybe step to the side with them, let them run through it a couple times, watch me do it, and then I would jump in and do it with them, and then we could jump back into the drill and keep doing it with the team. I would say another good leadership skill would be to like step up and take charge when your team's not doing good or your team's like down and maybe their attitudes are coming up a little bit, and that's not what's going to help on a team. So I would say that taking charge would be when maybe you're in a slump and you can't score a point, your team needs you to step up and be that person that will score that point for the team or be the person to make the pass for the team. You need someone that can start the process of getting the ball to score. You can be the person that makes the perfect pass or the person that makes the perfect set or the perfect hit. Speaking of volleyball, you can be the person on the bench cheering the loudest, cheering on your team, telling them open holes to hit to or telling them spots to serve to that on the other team is a weak player that can help your team by not making that pass. And I would say when I see a teammate getting frustrated because they can't get a pass down and it's going everywhere but to the setter, just helping them, calming them down if they're starting to get worked up or frustrated about it. Just calming them down, talking them through it, telling them that they're a good passer, like they're going to make the next one, just helping them and encouraging them to just go out there and do their best because they can. Being a leader in my head is probably one of the best skills that you can take away from being on a sports team. I think that it just teaches you so much, even in life, like going to school, going to college, like being a leader in your classes, just stepping up when like maybe your class is understanding something. If you do, just tell your class maybe how you interpreted something or just anything. I would say something else I would take away for my skill wise would be like my social interaction skills really helped. Not that I was not social before, I wasn't like antisocial or anything, but being with different ages of people on the teams really helped me like communicate better between all of them. And I would say like being part of teams like helped me to communicate effectively. Like just speaking in terms of like how your team will get to know things or how your team will intake, like how your team listens to things, like being able to effectively communicate with them and get things through to them. I would say that communication is probably key for all sports teams because without communication, you have different people trying to do completely different things that aren't just working for your team. And I would say, like, part of social interaction skills, like learning how each player communicates too, can like help become a leader too, because you know your players that way. So I would say that learning how each player communicates is going to be great for your team and for even yourself because you know how to communicate with them on and off the court, and like it will help your team in the long run because if you're communicating to your team and one person isn't understanding what you're trying to communicate, it just throws them off, it throws the rest of the team off. And so I would say the leadership and the social interaction skills are by far the two main skills that I think every person on the team needs to have. But also being friends with each person on the team helps your team also. Like hanging out with people outside of games or practices or the long bus rides can help form your team even more. Being able to be close with them and joke around and laugh at practice, but also be serious with them, helps you just so much more. It lets me be friends with everyone on the team. It lets me gain more friendships that I can go on outside of practices. But it helps when you are hating someone that's on your team. Because when you're hating someone that's on your team, you hold grudges against them. You don't want to pass them the ball or don't want to set them the ball. And it just doesn't make for a one good team that sticks together well. So I would say that the benefits mostly that from being on a sports team are leadership skills, which is number one, I believe. And then social interaction skills, learning how to communicate with them effectively is a priority. But also take away great friendships from people because you could be lifelong friends with these guys and you're going to be with them for at least 4 years in high school if they're in your class. So that's my speech on the benefits of being on sports teams. I hope you guys enjoyed.